The story appears to be a viral narrative shared widely on social media, especially Facebook and YouTube, but searches across web sources, historical archives, and specific details like names, Thomas Ashford, William Ashford, Harold Petton. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. Rebecca Morrison, British Juvenile and Immigration Society. Turn up, no credible historical records, news articles from reputable outlets, academic papers, or archive mentions to support it as a real event. It seems to be a fabricated or heavily fictionalized tale, designed to evoke emotion, often posted with calls to subscribe for more similar stories. Real British child migration schemes, like those run by Barnardo's, Fairbridge, or the Church of England's Waifs and Strays Society, did exist and involved exploitation, indentured labor, and family separations, mostly to Canada, Australia, etc., from the 1860s to the mid-20th century. But this specific photograph, document in the pocket, and 2019 discovery by Dr. Rebecca Morrison, do not appear in any verifiable sources. That said, here is a simplified version of the script you provided. I changed a few words and phrases slightly for smoother, simpler English, removed all headings, subheadings, and made the language easier to read while keeping the overall story and structure the same. On March 14, 1895, at the Manchester Children's Home in England, a photographer named Edward Collins took a picture that looked like a sweet moment of two young brothers saying goodbye. In the photo, 12-year-old Thomas Ashford stands with his arms around his 8-year-old brother William. Both boys look at the camera with faces that seem happy at first. Thomas wears a new clean suit that fits him well, much nicer than what an orphan would usually have. William wears the simple workhouse clothes that showed he was one of the forgotten children in Victorian times. Next to them stands a well-dressed man noted in the photographer's records as Mr. Harold Petton, the benefactor. The home's record said a simple story. Mr. Petton was adopting Thomas and giving him a better life. William would stay at the home until another family picked him. It seemed like a hopeful tale, one brother escaping hardship thanks to a kind rich man. That changed in 2019, when a digital expert named Dr. Rebecca Morrison looked at the photo under very high magnification, up to 18,000%, and spotted something in Mr. Petton's coat pocket. A folded paper was partly visible. When experts figured out what it was, they uncovered a dark Victorian secret, a large plan to send orphan children into forced work, hidden as kind adoptions. Thomas Ashford was not being adopted. He was being sold. This is the story of two brothers who said goodbye in 1895, and the photo that showed, 124 years later, their goodbye was not from kindness, but from cruelty. Thomas and William Ashford lost their parents in November 1893 during a typhoid outbreak in Manchester. Their father, Robert, worked in a textile mill and earned just enough for basics in a small two-room home. Their mother, Mary, washed clothes for others to add a little money. Typhoid hit the poor areas hard that fall. Robert died on November 8th, and Mary on November 22nd. Thomas was 10. William was 6. No relatives could take them in. On November 25th, 1893, they went to the Manchester Children's Home, a workhouse for orphans and poor children. Records in the Manchester City Archives list Thomas as 10, healthy, strong, able to read and write. William was 6, healthy but small, not reading yet. Parents dead, no family, admitted for possible adoption or work placement. Life there was tough. Kids woke at 5 a.m., worked in the laundry or workshops until 6 p.m., got little schooling, and ate basic food like porridge, bread, and rare meat. Rules were strict and often harsh. The home had about 300 children with few staff, who saw them more as workers than kids needing love. Siblings were split by age into different rooms and could only meet for 1 hour on Sundays after church. In that short time in the cold yard, Thomas told William stories about their parents, dreams of leaving, and promises to stay together. For 16 months, they waited for a chance to leave. In March 1895, it seemed to come for Thomas. The director, Mr. Charles Morrison, told him a benefactor named Mr. Harold Petton, a cloth merchant from Yorkshire, had chosen him for adoption. Mr. Petton was a widower without children, wanting a good boy to raise and pass his business to. Thomas, now 12, understood this meant a real home, school, and future, but leaving William behind. The photo was taken that day, March 14, 1895, as Thomas prepared to leave. The home often photographed kids leaving for adoption or work, both for records and to show donors things were going well. Photographer Edward Collins set up in the director's office. Thomas wore the new suit from Mr. Petton. William hugged him in his plain uniform. The picture looked sad but hopeful. One brother going up in life, the other waiting for his turn. But that was not the truth. Thomas was not adopted. He was trafficked. From 1869 to 1948, about 100,000 British children, orphans or from poor families, were sent to Canada, Australia, and other places in schemes called child migration or kind immigration. The stated reason was good. UK homes were full. Colonies needed workers and new people, giving poor kids better chances. The real story was much worse. Most were not adopted. They were bound to work, without pay, until 18 or 21, on farms, in factories, or as servants. They lost siblings, got fake names sometimes, little schooling, and faced abuse with no help. Everyone made money. Homes got fees. Ships got business. Employers got free workers. Except the children. Groups like Dr. Barnardo's, Fairbridge Society, and Church of England societies ran some. Some meant well, others hid profit as charity. Harold Petton worked for a shady group. Records found in 2019 in West Yorkshire archives show he recruited for the British Juvenile Immigration Society, which supplied kids to Canadian farms. He picked healthy boys aged 10, 14, promised adoption, and got £5 per child, about £700 today. The home got £3 per child. Kids got nothing but lies. Thomas fit perfectly, healthy, 12. The suit, adoption story, nice manner, all tricks to recruit. He thought he was going to a rich family. Really, he was headed to a farm in Ontario for unpaid work until 21. The paper in Petton's pocket, seen later through tech, was Thomas's indenture contract. 9 years no pay, basic food and bed, school only if work allowed, no family contact, no complaints allowed. Thomas left on a ship in 2 weeks and never saw William again. Thomas sailed on the SS Sardinian on March 28, 1895, with 73 other children aged 8, 14. Records in Canada list him as indentured worker to Fairview Farm in Middlesex County, Ontario, via the Society. He arrived in April and worked there 9 years. Sleep in a barn, long days, little learning, no family ties. The farm owners were not extra mean for the time, but treated him as help, not a son. In 1904, at 21, he had no money or skills beyond farm work. He stayed on as paid help, still stuck. He never went back to England or looked for William. No money or way to find him. He thought William had his own life. In 1910, Thomas married Ellen McBride in Canada. They had 3 children. He worked farms all his life, never rich or settled as promised. He died in 1967 at 84 in London, Ontario. His short obituary said he left a wife, kids, and grandkids. He died believing he was adopted, not knowing he was trafficked and separated on purpose. William stayed at the home after Thomas left. At 8, he waited for letters that never came. Staff said Thomas had a good life, and William should be glad. William stayed 6 more years. At 14 in 1901, he went to work in a Manchester cotton mill, like his father's hard job. After 3 years, in November 1904, he died at 17 from lung problems caused by milldust, a common illness. He was buried in a poor grave at Phillips Park Cemetery. He died, not knowing Thomas had not forgotten him, but was sent far away with no way back. The brothers were torn apart by a system that called cruelty charity for 124 years. No one knew the real story of that March 1895 goodbye. The photo stayed in the Home's files until it closed in 1952, then moved to Manchester City Archives. It was labeled as Brothers Hugging, Thomas adopted by Mr. Two by Mr. Petton, William staying. It sat there for years, seen sometimes by people studying old childcare, but not looked at closely. In 2018, Dr. Rebecca Morrison, who studies Victorian child sending programs, started research on how they were shown and explained. She got access to the photo files. In March 2019, she found this one. She said the boys looked sad and upset, not happy as the first. Records claimed. She knew Petton's name from other papers as a recruiter, not a parent. She had the photo scanned at high quality and checked every detail under zoom. At high levels, she saw a paper edge in Petton's pocket. With sharpening, words appeared. Indenture contract, British Juvenile Immigration Society, until age 21. She checked ship lists and found Thomas leaving as a worker, not adopted. Canadian records showed his farm placement and contract. The photo hid proof of child trafficking right there. She looked into William and found his sad end. Her work showed the society's full scale. Over 2,000 kids sent 1910, promised good lives, but used for cheap labor. Petton sent 147 kids, made good money, died in 1903, called a helper of the poor. In 2020, she published her findings. Media covered it. Descendants of Thomas and William's family line were found and shared their shock. An exhibit in Manchester showed the photo and zoomed view, plus records. Family members met there, sad about the real story. The photo is now displayed permanently in the archives, with a note about the truth. Thomas lived long in Canada, raised a family, died not knowing about William. William died young, waiting. They were victims of profit over care. The picture captured their last hug and the hidden proof of the wrong done to them. Sometimes truth stays hidden for over a century in small details, only seen with new tools. What looks kind can be cruel. Even after 125 years, it's not too late to tell the truth and remember those hurt. This story shows thousands of children broken by systems that hid exploitation as help. The photo is on display at Manchester City Archives. You can learn more about child migration schemes online. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment your thoughts, and subscribe.